What is going on, everybody? ProjectRodRod here, and it is time for World Finals racing here in Las Vegas. It is time to crown our racing champion of this season. But before we get into that, just a quick reminder to check out my Patreon. Link is on screen now and in the description below. Be sure to become a patron for early access and exclusive content. So, after qualifying, Monster Mode Dalmatian and April Summers was our fastest qualifier with a 24.28. This is the leaderboards after qualifying. As you can see, Northern Nightmare still has that very impressive lead and is in line to be the Season 1 winner. These are the World Finals leaderboard as a whole. We'll crown an event winner, but that's pretty much all that is. But moving on to the racing bracket, this is the racing bracket after qualifying. As you can see, Monster Mode Dalmatian, Blue Thunder, and Alien Invasion, the top three qualifiers, getting a bye run into round 2. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the first race, which is going to be Bakugan, Dragonoid, and Gravedigger. Gravedigger rocking that exclusive paint scheme just for the World Finals. That nice black overcast looks amazing. But here we go, going into the first turn. This is each truck's racing record for the season. Bakugan 4-5, Gravedigger 3-5. So Bakugan with one win ahead of Gravedigger, but you never know. Here are the winning percentages this season. And it all comes down to this last turn. Who's it going to be? It's going to be close. I want to say it was Gravedigger. And both have trouble after the finish line. Bakugan is over on his lid. Gravedigger saving it for dear life. And there you go. The official call. Gravedigger with a 24.35 taking the win. And moving on to round 2. I believe to face Monster Mode Dalmatian. But here we go, the second race. Monster Mutt and Whiplash both fighting for that last place spot. There are their racing records. Not the best season, unfortunately, but you can see that Whiplash with some trouble there. But as I mentioned before, they are both fighting to stay in the Stadium Series. There are the winning percentages. It looks like Monster Mutt's going to take it. Whiplash struggling. Monster Mutt an easy win. Whiplash may have gotten a disqualification there. I don't think she lined it up right. And there you go, there's the evidence. Monster Mutt with a 24.24, which is faster than the time that Monster Mutt Dalmatian had. So that's very impressive. As we move on to that next race, Northern Nightmare and El Toro Loco both rocking special paint schemes for the World Finals. Northern Nightmare is looking pretty amazing, if I do say so myself. A 5-5 record this year, El Toro Loco a 1-5 record. Both look pretty even going into this turn here, but El Toro Loco takes a bit too wide of a turn. It all comes down to this, but Northern Nightmare I'm sure is going to take it, and he is. Northern Nightmare Alex Stevens 27 taking the racing win, going on to round 2. El Toro Loco some trouble here. Is he going to save it? But Northern Nightmare some trouble. No, he's able to keep back on all fours and not ruin that beautiful paint scheme. As we move on to the next race, so far it's been some pretty wild races in round 1. Let's see what this is going to bring. Avenger and Mohawk Warrior, a 4-5 record for Avenger. 2-5 for Mohawk Warrior. So Avenger with the better record. But everything can change here. It's the World Finals after all. Mohawk Warrior into some little bit of trouble here. There's the winning percentages on the year. It all comes down to this last turn, but Avenger an easy win into round 2. But he's flipping it over after the finish line. So is Mohawk Warrior. Not looking good. Hopefully there's no damage to either truck. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens as we go to the last race of round 1. Max D rocking that awesome blackout paint scheme for World Finals. That just looks sick. And Zombie, a 3-5 record for both of these trucks. So Zombie, I remember coming pretty close in Atlanta, losing in the final round against Monster Mode Dalmatian. So I'm sure they'd love to come out and get a racing championship, but it all comes down to this last turn here. Max D with the advantage and an easy win for Max D. Unfortunate for Zombie, but Max D with a 24.35. Both almost going over. Zombie did, but he kept it on all fours. So there you go. This is the racing bracket after round 1. You can see the matchups for the next round. Monster Mode Dalmatian with Gravedigger. Monster Mode with Northern Nightmare, Alien Invasion with Avenger, Max D with Blue Thunder. So, let's go ahead and get round 2 underway. As we get to see Monster Mode Dalmatian come out with a paint scheme herself, April Summers, rocking Monster Mode Dalmatian, our fastest qualifier of the night or of the event. I'm sure she'd love to come out and get this win. A 14-2 racing record on the season. That's just incredible. With 3 event wins in Glendale, Atlanta, and San Diego. So she's a 3-time racing winner. Winning percentage 87.5%. So she is the favorite going into this, the favorite to win the whole thing. And just like that, she's going to round 3, which I believe is the semifinals. Trouble for both of them. Gravedigger, a nasty crash. But he's able to keep it on all fours, luckily. Hopefully there's no damage to the truck and he can return for skills and freestyle. But that was a very violent crash. Hopefully he's okay. As we move on to the next race, Monster Mutt and Northern Nightmare. The 2 trucks on opposite ends of the leaderboard. Northern Nightmare in line to win the point series. And Monster Mutt fighting in last place. I believe they're second to last right now. But they're facing elimination. If they can't come up with the right amount of points, Whiplash will stay in Season 2 and Monster Mutt will go down to the point series. But enough of that for now. Northern Nightmare with an easy win over Monster Mutt. Unfortunate for Monster Mutt as they both go over, flipping all over the place. Hopefully there's no damages, especially to Northern Nightmare, given that he's moving on to the semifinals to race Monster Mutt Dalmatian. But here we go. Alien Invasion, Cecily 96, our Arena Series Season 1 winner, coming out with a special paint scheme of her own, a 5-4 record over in the Arena Series. I believe they had 1 event win, there it is, in Wichita, again, in the Arena Series, so different field compared to these other trucks. They're looking pretty even so far as the winning percentages come out on screen, and it looks like it's going to be Alien Invasion taking the win and moving on to the semifinals. 25.13. Avenger, both of them trouble again. These trucks are flying through the finish line, so we're going to be seeing a lot of that, it seems. Excuse me, as the final race of round 2 commences. Max D versus Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder with a 11-3 record, so second best record on the season, right behind Monster Mutt Dalmatian, has 2 event wins in Anaheim and Oakland. So it was between Monster Mutt and Blue Thunder when it came down to racing. Blue Thunder, some trouble. Not sure what happened there. It may cost him the race. Who's it going to be? And it's going to be Max D going on to the semifinals. Very unfortunate for Blue Thunder. I'm sure he was the second favorite going in, given that he had 2 wins this last season. Very, very unfortunate for Blue Thunder. I'm sure he's very disappointed. But here is the bracket for the semifinals. Monster Mutt Dalmatian going against Northern Nightmare, and Alien Invasion going against Max D. So this is going to be interesting as we move on to the semifinals. Northern Nightmare had not had a win at all this season in racing. Came close in the first event, which was Anaheim, where Blue Thunder won. And then I think that was pretty much it. He kind of struggled after that. There are the racing records again, 14-2 for Monster Mutt Dalmatian and 5-5 for Northern Nightmare. So again, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, a 3-time event winner. Northern Nightmare was a runner-up twice. Oh, excuse me, twice. So I was wrong. I thought it was only once. But here we go. What's it going to be? It looks like Northern Nightmare actually has the lead, so he may upset Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and he will. April Summers is out of the racing final. Northern Nightmare is going to the final round. Very unfortunate, given that Monster Mutt Dalmatian was the favorite going in. So now I'm curious to see who's gonna take it all. Max D and Alien Invasion now going for that last spot in the final round. I'm still shocked at that outcome. I figured Monster Mutt Dalmatian would have done it. It should have been easy for Monster Mutt Dalmatian, but here we are. That's shocking to say the least. But here we go. It's all going to come down to this last turn. Who's it going to be? Max D having some trouble. Looked like he crashed into the wall or kissed it a little bit there. And it's going to be Alien Invasion, the rookie, Cecily 96, the Arena Series winner, going to the final round to face Northern Nightmare. So it all comes down to this. The prospective winner of Season 1 for the Stadium Series and the actual winner of Season 1 of the Arena Series battling it out in the final round. This is an incredible matchup, and I can't wait to see. Here goes the World Finals Racing Championship. And they're off. Here we go. Very, very interested to see what it's going to be. Here you go. Prospective Season 1 winner, Northern Nightmare, versus the Arena Series Season 1 winner, Alien Invasion. Both fought to be on top of their respective seasons, their respective series. And it all comes down to this one final turn. Northern Nightmare looks like they might have the advantage. And they do. They do. We're going to wait for the official time, but I'm sure Northern Nightmare is your racing winner in World Finals. And there it is, a 24.68 for Northern Nightmare, 24.86 for Alien Invasion. Alex Stevens, 27 to Northern Nightmare, is your World Finals 1 racing champion. Huge, huge, huge congratulations to Northern Nightmare. And Alex Stevens, 27, not only are they in line to win Season 1 of the Stadium Series, they have just been crowned the racing champion for World Finals 1. So Northern Nightmare and Alex Stevens, 27, everybody. Huge congratulations, an incredible outcome. This is the racing bracket, or the final racing bracket. As you can see, Northern Nightmare is our winner. Very, very, I did not expect this at all. Like I said, Monster Mutt Dalmatian was my favorite, and I'm sure everybody else's favorite going into this. But this is the leaderboard for the Stadium Series after racing. As you can see, Northern Nightmare just increasing that lead even more. But before we get into that, here comes Crush Station and Drake Schmidt for a nice little encore and some trouble there. Oh, he's able to keep it on all fours, thankfully. He was formerly driven by Speaker Mike 02 in stops 1 and 2 of the Arena Series and ended in 4th place. So I'm sorry, 62 total points this season in 4th place. So, as I was saying, coming out for a nice little encore run just like Stone Crusher did in qualifying. Oh, oh man. Going on for a wild ride there, but nice to have him come out, let loose, blow off some steam, have some fun before the second season of the Arena Series. So, going into his racing record, he was 6-5 in racing this season. Unfortunately, did not get a racing event or an event racing win. Did come close though, but unfortunately just didn't have enough, as it looks like he's going to go into his habitat there. Oh no, unfortunately he wasn't able to keep it in, but he was going to try and do some donuts there in the water. But here we go. These are his numbers in qualifying: 4th, 5th, 1st, 3rd, and 6th. So as soon as Drake Schmidt took over, he was the fastest qualifier in the 3rd stop, and I believe that's when he went to the semifinal round, or the final round of racing, excuse me, and then was knocked out by Monster Mutt Rottweiler, thinking back on my records. But still a pretty good season. Unfortunately had that driver change mid-season, an 8.683 average skill score this season. Again, unfortunately no event win, and a huge air from Crush Station, but some trouble possibly. Oh man. And back on all fours. Crush Station, 29 average freestyle score this season. He just showed you there he can kill it on the track. Crush Station and Drake Schmidt, everybody. Very, very awesome outing. But here is the leaderboard for World Finals as a whole. Monster Mutt Dalmatian with a lead of 23, but tied with Alien Invasion and Northern Nightmare as well. So excited. Can't wait to see who we crown as a skills winner. Just a reminder, don't forget to check out my Patreon. And yeah, I'll see you guys in skills.